Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome to the 81st episode of UNC Hoops Talk podcast. I am Dan DeWitt, your host here, and the regular season is coming to a close. If you didn't know, tomorrow, as this is being recorded on Leap Day, February 29, tomorrow is March, begins March Madness, and ready or not, here it comes is about all I can say. I don't know if we're ready. We'll talk about that, but it's coming. It's pretty much here, and it's do or die time, pretty much, for the Heels, for everybody in college basketball. This week, we have this last state game to talk about. We have the Virginia loss to talk about, and then we'll, of course, look ahead to the last two games of the regular season. First being Syracuse tonight, if you're listening to this on the day it's released. And then, of course, the second Duke matchup, senior night for the Dukies, for Plumlee. I think he's probably the only one. And it's going to be crazy. And then we get into, of course, the tournaments. And, yeah, we'll take a look at all that stuff. But let's first jump in. Before we do, just want to thank you again for listening. Hopefully you are sharing this podcast with all your Tar Heel friends and family and just spreading the word. And again, if you ever have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, anything like that, I deeply appreciate that. All the links for that are in the description of wherever you are listening or watching this podcast. Easiest way are probably Twitter at alltarheeldan or email unchoopstalk@gmail.com. So yeah, let's jump right in. We had the state game last week, Wednesday. Started off pretty bad. Cat Barber was hot to begin the game, and we got down. I don't know what the biggest deficit was, but let's see if it tells me here. Here, largest lead by state was 19. Nope, that's our largest lead. Largest lead by them was by 13 with 12:08 left in the first half. And yeah, so not huge, but to state, definitely significant. It was early, and this game was actually not on TV for me. I had to stream it, ESPN3 or ESPN.com, whatever, and missed that beginning part. I missed a lot of Cat Barber going off on us, but I guess I'm the good luck charm, because once I started watching, we started climbing back. Within a minute or two of me watching, we were down like 5 or 6. And it's like, well, this isn't much. There's, a ton of game left. And a good thing there was, but yeah, we took care of business fairly easily. 19-point lead was our largest. That was with 5:22 left in the second half. And pull it out with a 12-point win, 80-68. Solid game. 4 guys in double figures for us. Out-rebounded them 43-36. Just 8 turnovers for us. I don't know. It was just kind of a ho-hum game. We took care of business. It's what we should have done. Didn't shoot all that great. We shot 47% overall from the field, 27% from 3. We were 4 for 15 from 3. 80% from the free throw line, but just 12 of 15. And that one with the Virginia game, kind of what sticks out to me when I look over the stats is just kind of our lack of getting to the free throw line. We have to get to the free throw line more. And we'll definitely talk about that in the Virginia game. But even just 15 here against State isn't enough for us. We should definitely be getting there more. But individually wise, Bryce, of course, led us again, 22 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, 3 steals for Bryce as well. And then Justin Jackson, 17 points, 6 rebounds. Shot 2 for 4 from the three-point line again. Joel Berry had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists to 1 turnover. And then Page was our last double-figure scorer with 10 points. Shot 4 for 9 overall, not bad percentage from the field. 2 for 5 from the three-point line. I mean, I guess it's 40%, so it's pretty good. But had a couple steals as well. And then to round out our scoring, Kennedy had 7 with 6 rebounds. Theo Pinson had 7 points. Isaiah Hicks, 6 points. Yeah, again, what kind of irks me is that Meeks was back in the starting lineup over Hicks. Meeks had 24 minutes to Hicks 18 minutes. it just doesn't make sense to me. I think this is the game I tweeted out as well. Like, when is the last time that Kennedy Meeks has scored in double figures even? And somebody said it was the first game back from his injury. He had like 23 against State the first matchup. But there's, I mean, 6 additional minutes between Kennedy and Isaiah. The only real difference is 1 point. The same amount of rebounds, same amount of assists. Kennedy had 1 extra turnover. Kennedy had 3 blocks. Isaiah didn't have any. But even, I mean, Kennedy's blocks are usually so weak that it goes right back to the guy he just blocked from. And a lot of times they'll go right back up, get a foul, or or score. To Roy's credit, I guess, Isaiah had 4 fouls in this game. Trying to think, it doesn't stand out to me. I could be missing something. You can let me know if I am, but it doesn't feel like he missed a lot of time just because of fouls, though. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. I don't know. But yeah, Cat Barber is the one that went off. Had ended up with 32. I want to say he was close to 20 in the first half. Again, maybe it was more. I don't know. But I feel like he has like 18 or 21, something like that in the first half. And again, a lot of those coming even very early. We did hold him to shoot 1 for 5 from the 3-point line, so a lot of it was go to the basket. 7 for 7 from the free throw line. But yeah, pretty basic. I mean, obviously we should have won. Talent levels is not the same. State's really struggling this season, and we simply took care of business, and that, I think that gave us a 2-point lead in the ACC at that time, brought us to 12-3 overall. They were 4 for 11, 14-14 overall. So they're sitting at 500. Just crazy. It'll be interesting to see if they get to the NIT at this point. And then we had to travel to Virginia. We had to go up against the pack line defense. Contrast of styles. ESPN was hyping it up quite a bit that we had, like, I don't know what it is, top 5 or something in score points in the paint. They were like the top team in not allowing teams to score in the paint. And of course our transition offense compared to their transition defense. ESPN was all over that stuff. I don't remember all the exact stats. We played a pretty good game. We couldn't stop Brogdon, pretty much is what it came down to. Couldn't stop a lot. I mean, our defense is really what stopped us from winning this game. I think we got, I'm trying to remember. I feel like somebody hit a late 3 or something in the first half to either put them up 3. I think that's what it was. I think they hit a late 3. Otherwise, it would have been tied at halftime. But went into the half at 38-35. And again, only a 3-point deficit, not bad for playing on the road at Virginia. And I think what a lot of North Carolina fans and even college basketball fans forget, this isn't just like a North Carolina Virginia thing, but all over college basketball. But in this game, Virginia was ranked number 3 in the country. We were ranked number 7. So you'd say, well, we're not supposed to win. I mean, we're going on the road, not ranked as high. Virginia was a 3.5-point favorite. At least when I looked at the line, I don't keep track of those all the way up till game time. But I mean, we weren't supposed to win. And people were like, really, I mean, I was disappointed we lost. I think we should have or could have won this game. But it's not like it should drop us in the polls. It shouldn't drop us in seed line that much, or if at all, in the tournament. Like, this is what everybody expected to happen as far as experts, as far as, the guys that make the line, make their money betting and stuff like that. Like, it happened exactly how it was supposed to. So, yeah, okay, we only lose by, 5 points, no big deal or whatever. And it's not, but the way we played, we could have and should have won this game. We shot 9 for 19 from 3-point line. Marcus was 3 for 7 from the 3. Joel is, what kept us even close in this game. 5 for 9 from 3. Joel ended up with 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. He did have 3 turnovers, but he was phenomenal. If Bryce would have shown up to where he has been this season, or even if you say in the ACC or whatever, I mean, we win this game. He had 12 and 7. I'm gonna guess he's averaging at least 18 points and probably close to at least 10 rebounds. For a 5-point game, that's a big difference. Also, Bryce had 5 turnovers in this game. So yeah, I mean, if we could have stopped Brogdon, which again, he shot unbelievably, 9 of 16, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. And again, it comes down to the free throws. But first, Brogdon and Joel Berry. Everybody's going off about Brogdon. And again, he had a phenomenal game, 26 points, 6 rebounds. Probably will win ACC Player of the Year now because of this game. But Joel Berry was 8 for 15. I mean, takes one less shot, misses, or makes one less shot. So if he makes the next shot, he shoots just as well. 5 for 9 from 3. So around the same percentage, but makes a couple more than Brogdon. The difference is, of course, the free throws. He didn't shoot any, and Brogdon was 5 for 5. And I don't think the discrepancy in free throws, they were 18 for 21 overall in the game. We were 7 for 13. I don't think that difference between 13 to 21 is the difference in this game, because a lot of those free throws they took were late in the game, when we're fouling and trying to get back in it or try to win it, actually. But they showed a graphic at some point, and we had like 11 free throws in the game, and they had like 13 or 12. I mean, it was right on with each other. And then, of course, we foul late to try to come back and win the game, and they made them. The difference is they shot 86% in the game. We shot 54%. But also with the free throws, it's not even the discrepancy how much more they shot, 8 more than us in the game. That's not the difference. It is that we should have had more. The refs weren't calling it. And again, I'm not trying to blame the game on the refs. We'd still have to make the free throws. But the way we were allowed to play defense when fouls were called and the way they were allowed to play defense and what fouls were called was not the same. And of course, it's not the same in college basketball, or when you're at home or whatever. But it was just so, I don't know, it was so bad. And it was in stretches. There was times where we got some fouls and whatever. But like Joel Berry would drive the lane and get clobbered, and there was nothing. And there was that one time he drives to the middle around the free throw line, pulls up and hits the jumper, and they called an offensive foul. It looked like, he got bumped. Like, it was just unexplainable. And then they drive the lane, they drive the lane, and we can't even touch him, and it's a foul. Like, if we swipe at the ball, they're blowing their whistles. And again, it wasn't the whole game. I'm not trying to blame the game on the refs. We were there. We didn't play hard enough defense. If our defense would have gotten, a few more stops, and again, there's those, I don't know if they're pictures or vines or whatever out there where we just simply throw the ball away. There's one we step over the end line, turn it over, unexplainable or unexcusable. Bryce gets the rebound, falls over, the ball goes out of bounds, unexcusable. There's at least 2 other possessions where we play great defense for 30 seconds. They take a shot. They get the rebound. We don't box out. We don't get the rebound. We don't finish the possession. In a championship game, those things don't happen. We win this game. You can say regardless of what the refs are calling or how many free throws you're taking or whatever, like championship game, you make those things happen, you win the game. So I'm not trying to blame anybody. I'm not trying to blame Virginia, blame the refs. It's our fault we lost that game. And as far as free throws go, we would have to have shot if we would have shot, I figured out, if we would have shot the exact same percentage as them, we still lose by like 1 or 2 points. We would have had to shoot like 90% to tie the game. That is, again, with the free throws that we had, we'd have had to shoot 12 of 13 to tie the game and 13 of 13 to win the game by 1. It's not going to happen. Like, you're going to miss free throws. You're not going to be perfect as a team. So, again, it is what it is. It ended up not hurting us that much. Joe Lenardi still has us on the 1 line because Xavier beat Villanova, the number 1 team in the country at the time, and then Xavier went and lost. So we took their place on the 1 line, according to Joe Lenardi. Of course, a lot can change. Yeah, there's still games to be played and whatnot. But right now we're still on the 1 line, and I think we're like 8 in the polls. And I know I've been quoted on this podcast of saying polls don't matter, but we are getting to polls, rankings, whatever you want to say, don't matter. We're getting to the point now they do matter. Like, we've seen all the teams enough. The last probably even 2-3 weeks, like, the polls are important. And of course, from this point forward, polls are important. Not that you have to be number 1, but you want to be as high as you can and get that high seed and get to play close to home. Everybody knows that. That's common sense. All right. So, stats for us again. I said Joel Berry, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Did have 3 turnovers. Marcus Page, 4 for 13 shooting, 3 for 7 from 3-point line. Not horrible. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 turnover. Decent game for him. Justin, 12 points, 4 rebounds, shot 5 for 9, pretty good. Bryce, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Did have the 5 turnovers. Shot 5 for 9. Not his usual self, but not bad. Kennedy Meeks again, 6 points, 4 rebounds. He played 19 minutes. Isaiah Hicks in this game, 19 minutes as well. Did have 4 fouls again. So Isaiah's got to learn to play without fouling as much. I know there was at least one I remember that was pretty cheap on Isaiah and got called. But 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. So again, about the same numbers. I think, though, if we were to pick between Kennedy and Isaiah, if Isaiah gets those minutes, if we up him to, mid to upper 20s, we're going to get a lot more production than if we up Meeks to the upper 20s or mid 20s. I think if we'd pick, Isaiah and play him more. Plus, I just like the lineup of Hicks in there with Johnson. A lot of times Hicks will be in there with Joel James or, when we're small or something like that. And it's just not the same. If he could play there with Bryce, I think he's going to take a lot more advantage of it than Kennedy Meeks. My opinion, I can't prove it, anything like that. But, I wish we would see it. I don't think it's going to change at this time in the year unless an injury happens, knock on wood. But it is what it is. Again, Brogdon went off for them, 26 points, 6 rebounds. He shot 9 for 16, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. And, we come up short, 79-74. Not as low scoring as a lot of people thought it would be, which should have been more in our favor. A lot of that, again, is kind of our fouling at the end, giving up easy buckets with our defense. There was times we just broke down and they got too easy of a bucket. There was one time they had to inbound the ball with 2 seconds on the shot clock. They throw it in and knock down the shot. Like, it was just way too easy. Our defense is definitely what cost us this game. But like I said, didn't cost us everything. Would have been a great game to have. I said before this, we have to win either the Virginia or the Duke game. I think it's that to win the ACC, or at least have a share of the ACC regular season, get the double bye in the ACC tournament, and of course go for a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. So didn't happen, but it's not done. We still got, of course, the second part of that. And before we even get to Duke, we have to take care of Syracuse tonight. So this is a 7 p.m. Eastern game on tonight, Monday, Leap Day, February 29 on ESPN. And then we get a nice little rest till Saturday when we play Duke, and it'll be our, I think, third week in a row, at least our second week in a row, third game in like 4 or 5 weeks that will be the game day game. So we're at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. Of course, in Duke, which makes it tougher. It's not like a JJ Redick senior day like Tyler Hansborough ruined, but they have Plumlee. We know that it's going to be a tough place to play. It's going to be a tough place to get calls. But again, if you remember how upset I was over the first Duke game, there's no excuse we shouldn't win this game. You can say it's in Durham. Duke's playing well, whatnot, whatever. I feel like we should win this game. If we don't, we have to look at ourselves. What didn't we take care of? What didn't we do? Syracuse, we should win. It's at home. We've played well at home all year. Syracuse is, again, not on the same level as us. Of course, we have to worry about that zone of Boeheim, the 2-3 zone. The first time we played Syracuse, it was Boeheim's first game back. Yes, it was in Syracuse. They were hyped up because Boeheim's back. But, we'll see. What has Boeheim kind of changed since he's been back? All that kind of stuff. Yes, we should win, but we still, again, are we going to have to knock down too many threes to win that game? If it comes down to us having to win all these or hit all these threes, that's when you don't know that we're going to necessarily do that. If you remember, it was a lot of Hicks to Bryce, Hicks to, I don't know if he had any Kennedy, but Hicks at the high post is what tore Syracuse apart the first time. So, of course, they're going to adjust. We'll see how we adjust to that and how we shoot the ball, because anytime you're playing a zone team, you're going to have to hit some outside shots. So hopefully Joel Berry keeps it up. Hopefully Marcus can find even more of his shot. And we'll see. Again, Duke, I'm not saying we should blow them out, but we should beat Duke, even though it's in Durham. And that's about what I'm going to say there. I did want a quick look at Duke's schedule to see, because we go from Monday to Saturday without a game. So Duke plays, see if I can hear, they play tomorrow. So they go from Tuesday to Saturday. So not a big difference there. We got one extra day of rest than Duke does between games, but shouldn't make the difference. Again, besides that, Duke doesn't have the same depth as us. So I don't think you can blame that on us having an extra day. As far as ACC standings go, towards the end here, we are tied right now with Miami of Florida at 12-4 in the conference. And then there's two teams right behind us, Virginia and Louisville. So I guess you could say one team behind us that we're really worried about. They're game behind. And then Duke and Notre Dame are 2 games behind us. So, if Duke wins, if we lose tonight and then lose to Duke, I mean, who knows how far we can drop if Duke plays Wake Forest. So we'd have the same record as them if we lose tonight and then lose to Duke, is barring Wake Forest upsetting Duke. And that could be ugly. We could drop as far as, 5, 6? Probably, I would say probably 5, because of Louisville won't count in the ACC anyway, as far as our standings go. So we can't rest on our laurels now. We got to finish this season out strong, the regular season, head in the ACC. So yeah, again, I haven't heard anything about Matt Jones. I haven't even watched Duke. I don't know if Matt Jones is back. I'm guessing he is or will be. I have no idea about Emil Jefferson, if he's going to be back for that game on Saturday or not. But just matchup wise, if we take care of business, it's our game. If we don't, we know Duke can beat us. They beat us the first time. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot more I'm going to go into about that. Next week, of course, we'll look at this Syracuse game, look at the Duke game, see what happened, talked about our wins, hopefully, knock on wood again, and then look forward to the ACC tournament, which technically starts next week, Tuesday, I believe. Hopefully for us, won't start till Thursday. With a double bye, and then Thursday through Saturday, and then the next Sunday is Selection Sunday. It's crazy. March, like I said, March is here. If you're a college basketball fan, this is the time of year where you're going. For me, especially as a stay-at-home dad, when we start getting those tournament games during the day, it's the best time of year. I would say when college basketball starts, and now when we start getting into conference tournament time, NCAA tournament time, this is, I don't want to say this is what I live for. Of course, I got my kids, my wife, and all that stuff. But this is Christmas for me right here, what we're coming into. So hopefully the Heels can get on a track. And I guess that's the other thing we were going to talk about is, are they where we want them to be? I would say not, of course. I think I predicted like about 2 wins the whole season. We got 4 in the ACC already. So not where I want them to be, not where I thought they would be. Definitely don't have the consistency that we should for a talented veteran team. And again, I said it last week or the week before. At least there's no consistency in college basketball. We're not the only team that's up and down, but we play a heck of a lot better at home than we do on the road. So most of our, let's see, have we lost any games at home? I'm going to look at this. Most of our losses, if not all of our losses, have been on the road and true road games. I don't even know if we've played a lot of neutral games. All right, let me pull up the schedule here real quick. I know this is an exciting podcast. All right, so our losses: Virginia at Virginia. Duke was at home. Yes, so that's our one loss at home, I believe. What do we got here? Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Louisville at Louisville. And we had the big stretch of wins, Texas at Texas, and then UNI at UNI. So we have one loss at home, which is Duke. And then, let's see, I think Temple was neutral court. Northwestern Kansas State were neutral court games. And that's about, UCLA was a neutral court game. So we won the neutral court games, but wasn't anything like a tournament game is going to be. So it'll be interesting how we play, obviously conference tournament and then NCAA tournament. Again, we've said it, nobody's been consistent, nobody's been great this year. So anybody can win it, which I guess is good, also bad. And yeah, we got a lot of work to do. I don't think it's where we should be. We don't have Marcus playing the way we want him to be. Team's still kind of figuring stuff out. There's been a lot of talk about Marcus playing more point guard, and him and Joel kind of sharing it because he's more comfortable at point guard and stuff like that. So they're still, I think, kind of figuring that out. And yeah, we gotta get some stuff straight yet. And hopefully between Syracuse, Duke, and the ACC tournament, we do that, and we go on a 6-game winning streak in the NCAA tournament. That's about all I can say. Am I confident? No. Do I believe in them yet? Yes. Not strongly, not as strongly as I should probably. But I will cheer them on with all I have. And I guess that's about all we can do as fans besides that, and talk about it. And if you do want to talk about it, again, hit me up. Any social media you're on, I'm sure I'm there. Links are down in the description. Tweet at me, email me, whatever you got, bring it on. I'll take it. And let's talk Tar Heel basketball. Let's talk college basketball. It's the best time of the year. But that's all I got. Until next time, go Heels.